Piper seems very plug and play, especially when we were already using it. You pointed it and it ran. I'm Victor. I do revenue operations here at Albacross. What that means to us, it's about how the systems tie together, but also how that ties to the customer and how we optimize that.
I'm Artem and I'm a growth engineer at Albacross, and I'm mostly associated with whole inbound flow and lead acquisition process.
What we're doing with Distro is we wanted a way to streamline the leads that we sell to others together with our signals machine that we built internally. So essentially we combine the routing of these two different intent data sources to make sure that once we get a ping, we send it to the right rep. If someone is working on the account and the existing account, we send it to them. If it doesn't exist right now, we create it, we enrich it, and then send it off to the right rep. We're also doing, for the leads that aren't explicit hand raise, we're also routing them to the appropriate segment. Before Distro, we weren't actually doing anything. It was a manual process.
Imagine when you put some sand into the cogs and it was like screeching.
So first I was doing it, and then we handed it over to the SDR manager, who also didn't want to do it. Some weeks it could be a few hours per week, just assigning them manually. It was a perfect blend of being pissed off enough with it and happy enough that Distro landed in my inbox. And we were like, why can't we just automate this? That's when Distro was announced, and I saw the email that went out to the current customers, and I wrote to our customer success guy, hey, how do I get some of this secret sauce? I was aware of a few of the incumbent lead routing providers. You pay a exorbitant amount of money, and we can make really beautiful flowcharts for every single scenario, but then you also have a huge monster to deal with. And that's probably perfect if you are a monster of an organization in terms of size and complexity, but I think realistically most commercial organizations aren't that complex. The implementation process was pretty easy. I think for the initial one, we were just running it with our intent leads. That probably took a grand total of an hour. Then we fine-tuned it a little bit along the way. We noticed that, hey, this one edge case over here sometimes happens, and then it gets a bit wonky. I didn't know the Chili bot would notify people when they got a lead on Slack. So I was like, oh, now we have to make another Zapier notification. No, to the rescue comes Chili bot and pings everyone. You have a new record, and they just get the button to go straight there. That was my biggest unexpected win, 100%. And I mean, also just from an entire go-to-market perspective, like launching new channels and new inbound funnels, we've been able to cut that down by 80%. And by now it's so battle-tested by us that we know exactly how it works. We get a whole new, no, we're doing this way now, the kind of stuff that happens in a pretty quick growing startup, where directives change and the market changes and you gotta follow it, and being able to send those to reps and then also reroute them if they're not being acted upon. But it goes to say a lot of leads lists for a lot of salespeople are not 100% worked. So in this case, we're able to just, okay, we'll give it to someone else who will work it then. And that's something I think every commercial organization should aim for.